Welcome back to the ALC Sidelines podcast. I am your host, Dan Zumpano. We are so happy and excited that you are here with us once again, joining on a jam-packed episode. You smell that? I smell it. It's playoff time, baby. The ALC playoffs are getting underway very, very soon. April 26th and 27th, it is the ALC semifinals and finals taking place at Lynchburg City Stadium. You do not want to miss it in Lynchburg, Virginia. It is going to be so much fun. We have all the 1 seeds locked up for Division II and for Division I, and we're just waiting on some results from some play-in games going to take place later this week as of this recording. So it's going to be a total blast. We're going to have some great interviews too. We got the director of the ALC tournament joining us, Miss Lauren McQuillan, will be stopping on by to tell us what's going to be happening in Lynchburg for you to come out and join us then. So please, 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 if you haven't gotten your tickets, go on the ALC website and go ahead, register for their tickets online, pick them up at the door if you need to, buy them online. It is going to be such a fun time with so many great partnerships and sponsors to be joining us, food trucks, the whole shebang. It'll be so much fun and a good reach out to the Lynchburg community. We're also being joined by Keaton Mohs, the Liberty attackman who just eclipsed 300 points in his career, just the 6th player in all of MCLA history to do that at the Division I level, and he's still going, chasing history with 319 career points right now, and we haven't even gotten the playoffs started. It is going to be a lot of fun to watch him and the Liberty Flames, along with others, at the ALC tournament. That should be great. Just some news and notes and updates for you to update you with some scorelines, some big scorelines here. Those Liberty Flames did get a win against James Madison earlier this past weekend, a 15-5 victory to finish out their home regular season schedule. They are actually done now as well with their regular season schedule, as are almost every team right now in the ALC. Big game between Tennessee and Virginia Tech. That game was won by Tennessee. They won 8-4 in a rainy and wet game up in Blacksburg. So those two results, James Madison losing to Liberty and Virginia Tech losing to Tennessee, they have produced your 2 1 seeds. Tennessee will be the 1 seed out of the South, and Liberty will be the 1 seed out of the North, looking to defend their ALC crown. The winner of the Virginia Tech-Clemson game coming up this weekend will play Liberty. And then we got to caveat this because we don't have a winner yet between Pitt and West Virginia by the time of this recording. So backyard brawl for the final spot in the ALC playoffs. The winner of that game will play James Madison in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And then the winner of that game will get Tennessee in the ALC semifinals. So please, please stay up to date, stay tuned all across the MCLA websites and all around our landscape and coverage here on our ALC Sports Network coverage. We also have the 2 1 seeds out of the North and South in Division II. Charlotte looking for title number 4 in a row in the ALC. They will be your number 1 seed. On one side of the bracket, the other side of the bracket, Wake Forest going to be dealing with the Demon Deacons, which should be a lot of fun. By the way, these two teams just played each other as well to finish out the regular season, and it was Charlotte coming out on top with a comfortable victory over the Demon Deacons. I'm sure Wake Forest will look to exact revenge later on in the year. How about one more shout-out in Division II? Let's give it to the Citadel, shall we? We had them on way early in the offseason. A final game victory, over East Carolina. 14-13 win. Congratulations to the Citadel. And we'll see you next year along with the Pirates. So big results there. So here's how it shakes out really in the ALC for Division II. Just looking at it, Wake Forest is the 1 seed out of the North. They will get the winner of UNC Wilmington and Coastal Carolina. That game going to be taking place this week. UNC Wilmington should be hosting that game in our play-in round. Obviously for Charlotte, they'll get the bye, and they'll get the winner of the Virginia Tech Division II team, which will play on Friday night against Appalachian State. So those are your seedings. The winner of the Virginia Tech App State game will play Charlotte. The winner of the UNC Wilmington Coastal Carolina game will play Wake Forest in Lynchburg. So those will be the Saturday morning games, and then Division I will be taking place on Saturday afternoon. Plenty of stuff we got going on keep track of it on our X at Atlantic LC, on our Instagram page at Atlantic Lacrosse Conference. Of course, right here on your YouTube channel, the ALC Sports Network, where I'm always hosting podcasts with our great producer, Andrew Musser, also putting out videos as well. So be sure to stay locked and loaded, like and subscribe to your content here on our network and on our channel. Okay, enough funny business. Let's get serious. Let's talk to the 300-point guy, Keaton Mohs, Liberty attackman, who's not only going to talk about his legacy and what it means history-wise from this point of view, he's going to talk about what's happened in the future, what's to come for Liberty Lacrosse, and how they can finally get over the hump to win a national championship. We told you to be here, and now he's here, the newest member of the 300-point club in the MCLA Division I history. That is Mr. Keaton Mohs of Liberty Lacrosse. Keaton, how you doing?
Doing good, Danny. How about you?
It's always good to have you in studio. It's always good to be here and get a chance to talk to the players of the league. This is a pretty big deal, right? I mean, we've talked about it kind of ad nauseum, it feels like, you know. I mean, are you getting sick and tired of hearing about it? Are you excited to hear about it? Do you like the attention that it's garnered to you? What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's obviously like it's something I'm proud of. Like I definitely worked for it and had to put in a lot of days, like out on the practice field and in games and trying my best to get over that milestone. But it does feel good. Like it feels like you've accomplished something. It's a big milestone to reach, and I'm glad it kind of happened more in the beginning or middle of the year, so we can kind of focus more, like, or just me, not that I was hyper fixated on it or anything, but being able to just kind of have that milestone beyond me, and now there's the milestone of winning the ALC and then winning the national championship. So.
Well, yeah, it's like it's one step of many steps.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yep,
you know,
yep.
that you've talked about a lot this year is that, you know, obviously the goal is winning a national championship. We talked to you on this podcast at the beginning of the year with Caleb Hammett and Connor Giltonen about some of your goals, dreams, aspirations, those things. To do it on Midnight Mayhem, kind of a special spot. You know, that's a very traditional, you know, game for the program, and wasn't easy.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of alluded to that. Was there pressure as that game built on? You got it done in the fourth quarter, but were you thinking about it on the field?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it terribly until like the fourth quarter maybe. Honestly, just we were clicking so much in that first quarter, the first half of that first quarter, like felt like we were just scoring at will. And I was able to get one super early, and you know, once you hit one, the others fall pretty easily. But yeah, it just I wasn't really thinking about it. And then at the fourth, I was like, oh wow, like my dad was there, and I had my like 6 buddies from Minnesota that were all down, and
awesome.
they were all visiting. Funny enough, we planned this trip like months ago, so we didn't know like it would have potential to be that game. Yeah, so it worked out perfect. And I also kind of saw them migrate over to the one end of the field where we were on offense, and I was like, wonder if I'm gonna get this.
That's wild.
Either tonight or hopefully Sunday. But it was able to happen, and Luke Branham made a great play, and was able to not sell and get stuffed or miss the cage wide open one-on-one, but. No, it felt like it was kind of handed to me nicely as a little gift, and it felt good to get over that hump and to just, like you said, it's behind you, can celebrate it, and then, like you were saying, the next step is already set up for us.
Did you know it happened when it happened? Like you were pretty aware?
Yeah, I think I was, because I think at the end of the quarter, someone told me like, oh, like you're 2 away, and I got an assist to Shane Supek. And I was like, oh, I wonder if it'll be a goal or an assist, you know, like which will it be to get to the point, and it makes it a little more special. I think that it was a goal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With putting one in, and in the stylish way as well. So doing that in front of your father, doing that in front of your friends, you know, what does that part mean to you? That it's kind of full circle, just a kid from Lakeville, Minnesota, you know, just with a small dream.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
And it's turned into, you know, you've gotten a lot of notoriety over the years. You're leading the league in the whole MCLA in points and points per game. What is it like? Does that stuff, you know, obviously you look at it and it's there and you're aware of it, but does that stuff motivate you and you know, especially being in an environment like that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it definitely motivates me. Like, my dad doesn't get to come to a whole bunch of games, so for him to be there during one that there was a milestone like that was pretty special, and like definitely did give me the extra motivation to be like, hey, like it'd be super cool to be able to do it with him here on this weekend and be able to share that kind of time with him. And then same thing with my buddies. Like it was great. Like those guys have been, some of them were my lacrosse teammates in like youth and high school. Some of them were my football teammates, my basketball teammates. Like all those guys, like they are such great dudes. They all went to Minnesota State together and all lived together. And
Mankato?
Yep, Mankato.
Okay, there you go.
So they all stayed there together, and like I think it was just so fun being able to show them kind of like where my life is at now and have them come visit and then get them to see like such a big part of my life, lacrosse, and something like they know I've worked hard for since middle school, and being able to like share that with them all as well was just super special. It did give the extra motivation for sure.
Yeah, you got that football background and the lacrosse background as well, being back from Lakeville. You know, looking back then, you know, sophomore, junior year, you were looking to play Division I in the NCAA. It didn't end up working out the way you thought it would. At that time, did you ever imagine that this, you know, going to Liberty and play, okay, I'll play the MCLA, but did you ever imagine it would be this much attention, this much notoriety? Did you ever think about that when you were younger?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I knew it was competitive and high level, and like the people who I had met before I came were like the Carter Elliott's and Derek Esch's and Caleb Britton's and Sam Gregory's, like people who like had like they kind of put the MCLA on notice and have some milestones of their own, and like getting to see them with my own two eyes, like those guys are good at lacrosse, like they're studs. And so like I knew there was that high level of play, and obviously we're not Duke and UNC and on the ACC in Division I, but I think there is kids who are super talented and gifted here at the MCLA level and deserve the recognition. I think lacrosse is that super unique sport where it's very different from any other sport, where the talent base is at very much different levels. Like there's guys who have been club lacrosse players who are now on current NLL rosters or have been on an MLL roster before, where you're not seeing that in any other sport at all. And I just think that's kind of the beauty of it. And I think the lacrosse community is super tight. So I think people do like yes, we're the MCLA, but people also like, yeah, you are the MCLA. Like that's a cool thing. It's a privilege. Like there's talent. It's fast paced. Like we're all the big schools like that, like the Tennessees, the South Carolinas, the Texases, the Floridas, where like their fan bases are big and like they do care and like they have pride, and where maybe like a school like Manhattan or like Drexel, where you're kind of a smaller school, but you have the Division I lacrosse, but yet it's on a small scale where you can have the big school with the big notoriety, and then you have the lacrosse team there as well.
Right, and a lot of it's connected to, not on Liberty's campus in particular, but a lot of them also connected to like fraternities and things like that. You know, so there's a lot of brotherhood, I guess you would say, in that respect. Just kind of, you know, going forward. Now you've got it. You're at 300 and I want to say 317 points. I think right around there. Might be a little more. 319 actually. 319 points. We believe that that's third all time in the MCLA.
Okay, well that's cool. I didn't know that.
There you go. So the more you know.
Yeah.
Ryan Miller, who's your coach, is at 337 career points. Now he did have 1 year at D2, so obviously that's why, you know, Division I doesn't count it that way. But what is that dynamic like, chasing your coach for the all-time Liberty record?
Yeah. It's definitely an unspoken thing between us. Neither of us have mentioned it to each other. I think he gave me a fist bump when we got to 300 and said congrats. But it's just one of those things where, like, Ryan knows how much I respect him, and I know how much of a unbelievable lacrosse player he is, and getting to, like, know his family, getting the chance to play with Jackson, getting to, like, be coached by Ryan, and I've even played on some box teams with Ryan, even where we've gotten a chance to play together, and it's just been a blast. And Ryan knows I look up to him, and I know he's like, I mean, he is, when you think of lacrosse rats, like I think of Ryan Miller. Like there's probably very few people out there who like lacrosse more than Ryan, or know more about lacrosse than Ryan. And yeah, so he's just an amazing guy, and like it would be a huge blessing to like try to get more points than him. But like, I mean, even if I scored 100 more points than him, I think I would still look up to him and admire him just because I know how much he loves lacrosse, how much he knows about lacrosse, and how much he's been able to pour into me. I definitely wouldn't be able to be at the 300 mark if it wasn't for the help of Ryan, for sure. I think we have similarities in our play style and our mental side of the game as well, where it's been a blessing to be able to be here at Liberty together. It just speaks to the relationships you make at Liberty from the teammates you have, the coaching staff, and alumni.
So you mentioned in past interviews that he kind of helped you unlock something at the end of last season, especially when you were transitioning to attack.
Yeah, definitely.
What was that thing towards the end of the year?
Definitely. I mean, it was a thought process thing. When you're midi, you get limited reps, you're running out of the box, and you're also focused on, okay, I'm going to get back on D because my first 2 years I was playing defense, and then even when I was playing midi, like I still like to get caught on D sometimes, and I liked playing D. So like your mind is like, okay, I'm only getting limited reps here. I'm coming out of the box. I'm not a part of the ride. I'm getting stuck on defense. Where attack, like he helped me mentally like switch. Like, hey, you're playing from behind the net. Like you don't have like you can shoot, but you're not. It's not going in. You're behind the net. Like at a midi, like you can shoot from anywhere, and you at least got a chance of it going in. But just helping me have that thought process of changing my thought process, where it's from dodge, shoot, pass, move it, to pass, move it, shoot. So like my dodge thought process goes dodge, pass. Where's the slide coming? Who am I passing to? Who's above the GLE? Whereas I'm behind, and then it's shoot, or then it's shoot, and then it's pass. Like where can I get the hockey assist?
Sure.
So it definitely like helping me realign my thought process, where it is different as a midi. Being back there really helped me kind of, like we said, get into that next level of being able to start getting those more points and the more efficiency and putting the pluses in the plus-minus columns.
Sure. And you finished the season with more assists than you did goals this year.
Yeah.
Which was impressive as well.
And I think I did last year, too, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd have to go back and look, but 94 points, playing all the way to the national semifinals, you're 87. And we haven't even touched the playoffs yet. So, again, like you said, unlocking new paradigms into your game. Let's talk about those playoffs.
Yeah.
You guys got a big win over James Madison this past weekend.
Yeah.
You went to Morgantown, West Virginia. You handled business against West Virginia. You earned the #1 seed out of the North Division in the ALCs, which are coming up here in very, very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll get the winner of Virginia Tech and Clemson on that first Saturday on April 26th. So obviously, you know, you look at that. What are you most looking forward to coming up in these playoffs? You know, I know that, you know, Virginia Tech wins that game. That's the one team you guys lost to all year. So what is there, I assume, a chomping at the bit for that kind of a matchup?
I mean, you know? I think we're, 12 straight after that game? 13 straight? Something like that. So I think if you look at us now, compared to that first game of the year, completely different team. Like, just like, it's almost night and day. I mean, I think every 40 of us on our entire roster would say we did not play well that game. We definitely underplayed to our ability, whereas of now we're playing to our ability. And we're just, like I said, a much different team. Either outcome would be great. It'd be great to right that wrong against Virginia Tech and get the only team that's got us so far this year. And it would also be super fun to play Clemson. We haven't played them this year. Just new faces, new opponents, new fun game.
Right.
And then hopefully we're seeing the winner of whatever, JMU and whoever, and then Tennessee. So, yeah, just got to – we're only – like we were talking on the bus ride yesterday. I mean, we're hoping we go to nationals, but we're only really guaranteed one game left if you think about it.
I mean –
yeah,
is there anything you can do at this point to not go to
lose
nationals?
out, and a lot of teams win some crazy games.
Yeah.
But I don't like I said, we're only guaranteed one game.
Sure.
You're only guaranteed one for sure. And whoever it is in front of us, just to put them away, and then it's the next one. Then you get that one.
Sure.
And then you get gifted another one, and after that, it's player. Your season's done.
Yeah.
So having that sense of urgency is very vital.
Not looking too far ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we are literally guaranteed one game right now, and just being able to put all our focus and attention into that game, and we'll see where our chips fall, and we'll go from there.
It's easy for guys to look at, look how far we've gotten the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, how do you maintain focus on, guys, before we get to any national semifinals, we got an ALC semifinal to play.
And we've never gone into nationals being the number one seed. That is a milestone we could reach where, in my full confidence, I feel like I can say, and granted, things can shape up differently, but if we went out, be ALC champions, and have the whatever, it would end up being like 6 ranked wins, beating the only team that's beat us. I can't imagine not going into nationals as the number one seed, and that's something our program's ever done. So there's that sense of the underdog mentality that we were able to give ourselves, like, hey, we've never had the opportunity to be the number one seed and go into the national tournament. Like, let's get that. Like, let's earn that, and let's be the number one seed. Gift ourselves that, and that's something that came from the 16 games leading up to that you earned. So being able to earn that, because if you think about it, like, you can win the regular season, we haven't earned or won anything yet. So ALC's up for grabs and nationals up for grabs. So until we clench either of those, like, we haven't proven anything yet. So
you still feel as if there's an underdog spot for you, a mentality to get that number one seed.
Totally, yeah. And we've been rolling. Like, I feel like we're just clicking on a lot of cylinders, and we haven't played great by any means, or our perfect game yet by any means, and that's yet to come. And just being able to be like, hey guys, like, again, we just haven't earned anything.
It's just unusual hearing the number 2 team in the country, underdog.
Yeah,
you know, and maybe by the time this podcast comes out, you might be the number 1 team in the country. So maybe that mentality is there. Short-lived, maybe, by the time you get to nationals, if you guys were able to win.
Yeah, and even then, like, if we go into nationals as the number 1 seed, like, we've never won. We've never gotten over that hump of the semifinals. Like, there's so much more to, like, prove to ourselves and prove to our program, like, things that we've never done before.
Yeah.
Like, you just always got to be climbing up a hill until you win the national championship. You haven't reached the summit. So.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. ALC semifinals coming up April 26th and 27th for the finals. Should be a lot of fun. We know you'll be there, obviously.
Yep.
What's the celebration going to happen on the first goal of the game?
Hopefully,
I know you like to pull. Just when I got out, they pulled me back in, type of thing.
You know? Hopefully we'll hit that.
Got anything planned at all?
I don't. None of it's ever planned. It's very in the moment.
Yes,
so it all depends on the goal scored and the moment of the game, and you just gotta let yourself have some fun with it. You know,
Certainly
enjoy the moment.
Let it loose.
Yeah.
No question about that. Keaton Mohs here from Liberty Lacrosse. Keaton, appreciate it, man.
Always.
Our thanks to Keaton Mohs. Always fun to talk to him and get his perspective on how he's gotten to where he's gotten to. And looking forward to watching Liberty against whoever it is they end up playing in the ALC tournament. Let's talk to Lauren McQuillan, the ALC tournament director, on how she's shaped up this ALC tournament and what it's going to be like in Lynchburg on the weekend. Welcome back to the ALC Sidelines podcast. We are here with the person who is in charge of all the magic that you'll see at the ALC tournament this year in Lynchburg City Stadium, coming up April 26th and 27th. Behind the scenes, she is the queen that gets it done. And anybody that has any problems, you better check yourself, because she'll get after you. And that is the ALC tournament director, Miss Lauren McQuillan, joins us now via Zoom. Miss McQuillan, how are you?
I'm good. I'm on spring break with my kids. Happy we're getting it out of the way this week instead of the week of the ALC tournament.
Yeah. Why not? You know, and it's funny. You know, as this is kind of the tournament that we've had great success at this tournament the last couple of years, I would say, in terms of just the ambiance, the visual aid that we've had for the MCLA, and you know, compared to other tournaments. And I've been very lucky to be a part of it. But this is your second year or third year doing this? Fourth year. Oh my goodness. So yeah, all right. So what's changed for you? What's the biggest change that's come about? How has this grown into what it's what you hoped it to be, going forward?
It has grown year after year, which I'm really proud of. I think in our first year, it was figuring out what needed to happen and how, and then every year after was making it better. And I'm most happy about our partnership with Rush Homes Parade Playhouses that happens on the Saturday, because it engages the community in Lynchburg in a way that lacrosse might not, and brings them into the stadium. And it does good for people who are underprivileged and disabled and need affordable housing. So we're not just enjoying lacrosse, we're using all of our resources to do something more with them.
Yeah, and that's a huge point, is that getting out into the community, trying to grow the game, yes, but at the same time introducing a new market to the game. Why was that so important to you?
Well, the ALC tournament takes place at Lynchburg City Stadium, and it is an enormous venue. We're so thrilled to have use of it, but we don't take advantage of even half of it. So having something to take over that extra space and offer engagements to those who are there, to the families. I have young kids. I know that it's hard to go to a lacrosse tournament and entertain them for 2 hours, but if there are playhouses on site and if there's a face painter, and if there's a tent up in case it rains, and just all of the things that brought to the event made it that much more hospitable for our attendees.
What should we expect this year from the event? Maybe something that we haven't had in years past, or what are the exciting things that fans can look forward to if they want to show up to Lynchburg?
Well, we do have a new roster of food trucks coming. We have our old favorite Black Pit Barbecue. They've supported us faithfully every year. But we're adding Upper Crust to that list of food trucks. We're adding Downtown Cairo for a little bit of flavor. We have a boba truck coming out. So trying to keep that fresh and exciting and have something for, everybody, from pizza for the kids to something a little bit more interesting. We are partnering with Rush Homes again this year, so we will have the parade of playhouses and be raffling off those 4 custom-built play structures. They are incredible this year. The kids get a chance to play on them with them throughout the event, so come and check those out. And then we have youth lacrosse participating this year in a way that they haven't since year 1. We did have some kids on the field for like a pickup scrimmage situation at halftime in 2021, but then unfortunately their tournaments fell at the same time as ours and they couldn't be present. But this year we have a lot of support from the youth lacrosse in the area, and we expect to see a bunch of little kids out there.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Reaching the next generation and hopefully getting them to view Liberty and Virginia Tech, who I know are going to be running some camps too at the same time.
That's right. In addition to all those things that are happening on the 26th and 27th, on the evening of the 25th, the Friday night, we're going to have a free clinic for the kids. And that goes from 5:30 to 7 p.m. It's hosted by Virginia Tech and Liberty University. And I hear the Drip King's going to be signing autographs.
Oh, wow. So
exciting.
now we have to go. I've always joked about this behind the scenes. Maybe you could be, like the Drip Queen and sign some autographs.
I respectfully decline.
Well, I gave it my best shot. But that's really exciting. So obviously utilizing a player in the league that has obviously a really growing following, and I think Liberty has kind of seen that wherever they go. There seems to be some kids. So how has Caleb responded to that? Was he very welcoming, and was he all in immediately?
Yeah, from what I understand, he has been so gracious with these kids that show up at the games and stayed around to sign all of their swag and, take time for all of them, which I think says a lot about who he is. And these kids are the next generation of the sport. So getting them excited and having them engaged at that level, traveling in for games, that's a big deal.
What's the most rewarding part for you in doing this tournament? You've talked about outreach in the community a lot. What drives you to make this event so special?
Well, as many probably know, my husband is the head coach of the Liberty lacrosse team, and that's kind of felt like a universe that I didn't really participate in for a decade. So it's been nice to be able to get more involved, to understand how the season works, who his colleagues are, to form relationships with them, to be somebody other than just the person taking care of the kids on the sideline. I am excited by partnering with him in something that we've had the opportunity to create and make unique.
Do you feel like this has been a success, and do you feel like so far, and is there an expectation for maybe a certain amount of people coming to this year's tournament for you? Like, what would be successful for you this year?
We've seen anywhere from like 700 to 900 tickets sold in the last couple of years, and I feel like for 2 days, that's pretty good. Again, that stadium can hold so many people, so we would love to see that grow. I'd like to eclipse 1,000 tickets sold. I would love to see the Lynchburg community come out because it's kind of a given. The parents are going to come out and watch their students, and the friends or the girlfriends are going to come out and cheer. But if we could engage the community that doesn't necessarily have a frame of reference for lacrosse, but gets excited about some of the other things that are happening that weekend, and then catches, the bug and is excited to come back on the Sunday. And that would be a win for me to see Lynchburg really come out.
Awesome. That is so great. Where can people buy tickets? How can they get to Lynchburg? And I know there's going to be a broadcast as well. Myself, I'm going to be a part of that too. But where can people go and get their tickets for this event?
The ticketing link is on the ALC website, and it will be sent out to all the teams. I think Ponchito is going to be handling that via email in the next little bit. So it'll be coming to them, but if they want to go find it, they can look on the ALC website.
That's awesome. Well, you certainly have done the lion's share of this work and just done a great job at making this such a special event, not just for the players and the coaches and the parents, but for the community at large. And that's such an important thing, growing the game in the central southern part of Virginia. It's certainly a testament to your hard work. So we really, really appreciate you being kind of like the mama of this whole thing. So that's great.
Way to do it. It's been
Awesome.
fun.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lauren. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Special thanks to Lauren McQuillan so much for stopping by here and giving us some of her time. It's going to be a blast. Please, if you see her at the tournament, thank her. She's, such a big part of why our tournament is so successful. Special thanks to Keaton Mohs as well for joining us in this episode. By the way, our Players of the Month. Can't forget those, right? Our Players of the Month presented by Ortho Virginia are as follows. At the Division II level, the Offensive Player of the Month, Ryan Kazella of UNC Wilmington. 12 goals in the month of March, 23 assists for him. Huge, absolutely huge. Congratulations to him. Our Defensive Player of the Month in Division II is the 3-time captain of the Charlotte 49ers, and that is Owen Schaefer. Has dominated, a fierce competitor, high IQ, and he really values the meaning of team, according to his coach. For Division I, our Defensive Player of the Month, or the month of March, John Hennessy, the goaltender from Clemson. You look at his numbers, 66 saves in the month and 61% save percentage. The Tigers went 4-1 in the month of March. And then for the Offensive Player of the Month, it is Liberty's own Braden Landry, who's been on an absolute tear for the last 10 or so games. But in the month of March, 18 goals and 15 assists, helping the Flames to a 6-0 record in that month. And right now, the Flames sitting at a #1 seed in the ALC tournament. Well, folks, it's been awesome to get to talk to you guys and engage with the lacrosse community at the MCLA and across the Atlantic Lacrosse Conference. We hope that this podcast has brought you so much joy, so much information, and continue to follow along. We're not done yet. So the tournament beckons, yes, April 26th and 27th. Go on the Atlantic Lacrosse Conference website and make sure to get your tickets. There'll also be a place for you to buy a package to be able to watch the broadcast, where yours truly will be on the call for all 6 games over the weekend. So make sure you do that. Of course, like and subscribe to the ALC Sports Network on YouTube. And look out for some previews coming up. Some really cool, fun videos. Well, we'll preview some of these semifinal games coming up as well. So you don't want to miss that. For our producer, Andrew Musser, I'm Dan Zumpano. We thank you for being here on the ALC Sidelines podcast on the ALC Sports Network. Take care, and we'll see you in Lynchburg the last weekend of April. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by.